Hi, I'm Leah.
And I'm Deveter, and you're listening to
Let's Chat.
Hey, Leah.
Hey, Mommy.
How you doing?
You're
holding on.
Holding on.
All right. Keep on holding on, girl. Hello, everyone. We are so glad you decided to join us today for another episode of Let's Chat. Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy
Let's go.
Black History Month, everybody. We decided to do a show on Black History Month, really just talking about the importance of the month. I know that we've all been experiencing BLM and
Yes.
everybody, because you're saying BLM
BLM.
every 2 minutes.
BLM.
Black Lives Matter. What is Black History Month to you, Leah?
In all seriousness,
Mhm.
Black History Month is the time to really recognize, heroes in our history, even though we have to, recognize this all the time, but this is a very specific month for us all, everyone, not just Black people, to know Black history, how we really helped with this nation and other nations too. What we did and what we continue to do.
Very, very good. There was a point where I would question, is Black History Month still valid or still important? Is it something that we still need to celebrate? Because we are going around saying, Black History 365 and, the whole conversation about Black History Month. How do you think Black History Month can expand, like beyond just talking about the historic figures? What else can we do to emphasize Black History Month?
Well, to kind of backtrack on the question, talk about more historic figures, because in my elementary school days, which wasn't that far, but in my elementary school days, we only learned about the same 10 people. Like, you gotta expand on that. Talk about, in social studies this year, we just learned about the Harlem Hellfighters. Do you even know who they are?
Really? Who are the Harlem Hellfighters?
Basically, they're these really cool army guys who fought the Germans.
Okay.
And this one really cool guy named Henry, I forgot his last name, but he was fighting all the Germans. He was getting all of them knocked out. And he was injured. So, and I didn't hear that story for the longest time. And neither did any of the other kids in my class. So, it's that time to really that was during the World War One, by the way.
World War One.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Anyway.
All right. We'll put a link with a little bit more information about them in the content.
From Harlem. New York.
Harlem.
Anyway.
I think that's really key. We do tend to only hear about the same people.
Yeah.
People who really impacted the civil rights movement. Although they are extremely important, there's so much more in our history than just, I love MLK, I love, Malcolm X, Shirley Chisholm. There are so many more people that we can talk about who have impacted our lives, who have done so much for this country. So that's a really good point. So how do you celebrate Black History Month? What have you done to celebrate?
For jokes, I make all my friends, on the first day, actually, on February 1st, my friend gave me $2 because it was Black History Month, and I was like,
Lord.
You didn't have to do that, but thank you.
Hey, was that reparations or something?
Okay. But, I also like to read some things during Black History Month. The books that I read are always urban Black people on Black people. And I just like to, just
read and
go back to
learn
my
more.
roots.
That's good. That's excellent. I think it's important, that we definitely recognize and celebrate our culture and our history. For me, with the company, that I do the crochet stuff with, I make a point of interviewing makers, Black makers, during Black History Month. I want the fiber arts community to see how talented the African American makers are within, knitting and crocheting and all the fiber arts. So I've had the opportunity to interview some really cool people who make dolls, people who are, dyeing yarn. It's just super, super cool. And so that's my contribution for Black History Month. I always try to do something where I'm talking to people and elevating people. I think it's important that we we elevate people who are doing great things in our community. So I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that Black History Month should still be celebrated, and that we should do things different.
Yeah.
You know, we should definitely do things different. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
I'm excited because we are going to.
Oh yeah, this for President's break,
Yes.
winter break. We're
Yes.
going to DC
Yes.
to go to the Museum of African American History,
Yeah.
and I'm mad excited about that. Cause like I've been wanting to go for a while. It's actually on my bucket list,
Mm-hmm.
and now that we actually get to go and like see other stuff, like oh wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I know that, they say that it takes a long time to see it. So
Yeah.
we kind of have to map out what we want to see and what
Yeah.
we want to kind of experience. But for me, the idea of us having our own museum
Yeah.
targeted to African Americans,
Americans.
not just Africans, because in all honesty, we're American. Like I can't trace my roots back to Africa. I don't know where my family comes from over there, but I know where my grandparents and your great grandparents are from, and they're from right here in America. So I think it's really cool that we have a museum that is just for us.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to see the music area. What
That'll be
areas
dope.
are you looking forward to seeing?
Definitely music.
Definitely
like, because
music.
that's me. What I do. It's what I look forward
It's
to
all
in
about
life.
the music.
So I'm very excited to see all that. The art, like all the artifacts. I just feel like that would be so cool to experience and learn about.
Mhm.
But, we need to get that.
Awesome. I think that there's a section in there that talks about hair.
That's
I
cool.
believe so. And I just watched this thing with Dove. They have a whole series that they're doing for Black History Month talking about, it started when I was 5, talking about young girls who have experienced discrimination because
How would be.
of their hair.
Yeah, you say hair.
I know I say hair. Yeah, I'm sorry. But they have dealt with discrimination around their hair. Have you ever had to deal with issues like that? I know we did a whole hair
Yeah.
episode, which I will definitely link in the description. But what issues have you had to deal with as a Black girl in America around your hair?
Well, okay. To be honest, we are in a very diverse community.
Yes.
So, everyone, there's bits and pieces of everywhere. So people aren't really that opposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember, like, when I had, like, the twists,
Mhm.
like, with the extra
twist.
hair.
Yeah.
And, like, people, like, play with it. I'd be like, can you leave me alone? Hello?
Yeah. Touching your hair.
Yeah, I'd be like, what you doing? Like, what? You don't let people just, like, do your hair and,
Right.
like, just, keep your hands to yourself, dog.
Yeah, so you haven't had to experience any like type of discrimination or
Nah.
people looking down on you because your hair is braided or because your hair is, when you have your Afro puff and it's,
Yeah.
Just a lot of hair.
It's a lot. It's a
It's
lot.
a lot of hair. That's good. I mean, growing up for me, I didn't have those kinds of problems. I think for me, it was more so image wise. Like my hair wasn't long; it was short. I had a Jerry curl for a long time.
Mommy.
And I used to wear like a
Mommy.
suit, right?
Not
And
Superman.
I
Come
did.
on. Come on.
I remember I had one picture with my little Jerry curl, and I had a shoestring tied around to make. I don't know what was happening then, but so when you think about African American, there's so much about us that is to be celebrated, and then there are so many different people who are trying to appropriate all that is Black, and I think it's important that we hold on to our culture, sharing it, of course, but also recognizing that it belongs to us, and that we shouldn't be ashamed of who we are or where we come from. So that's cool. And I think that's what Black History Month should be. I think it should be a celebration. Of course, we're celebrating being Black 365, but because we have been given an actual time frame in which we can truly celebrate our Blackness. I was telling somebody, this month I'm Black all the time, but in February I'm blackity, black,
Yes.
and I love it. So yeah, I hope that everybody is having a fantastic Black History Month. I hope that you are doing something to add to your Blackness, that you are learning something new, like Leah learned about, who are they again?
The Harlem Hellfighters.
The Harlem Hellfighters, and I'm learning about all these amazing fiber artists. So, do something, learn something new about your Blackness if you are Black. If you're not, learn something about African American culture this Black History Month. That is our hope for everybody. So yeah, happy Black History Month,
Happy
Leah.
Black History Month.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you are inspired to learn something and do something to celebrate Black History Month. This has been another amazing episode of Let's Chat with Leah and Deveter. If you want, you can follow us on our social platforms, Instagram
At Let's Chat _podcast.
and Twitter,
At Let's Chat _podcast.
and of course right here on YouTube. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye.
Bye.